Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing some Uro and some Beanstalk. This is bug control. We are going to hopefully lock down the game through all our removal. We got the 4 Fatal Push, the 2 Murderous Cut, the Shielded Edict, and we have Wasteland Recursion in this new card, which I'm very excited about, Glacierwood Seige. This is blue and green, which means it pitches to both Force and Endurance, and pitching to Endurance is a big theme of our deck. But basically, when it comes into play, you can choose either Teamer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 4 cards, so you can mill out your opponent as an alternate win con. Or Sultai, you may play lands from your graveyard. Not bad. It's a Crucible of Worlds that pitches to Force and Endurance. We have the 4 Endurance in here. This is because a lot of decks are weak to Endurance. It's really great to be able to just have your sideboard Graveyard Disruption right there in your main deck. This is really good against Delver. It's good against Oops All Spells and Reanimator. It's good against Blue-Black Tempo. It's good against a lot of the meta right now. So I'm rocking the full 4. And we have lots of cards to pitch. We've got 14 pitch spell green cards in the deck, including these 2 Witherbloom commands, one of my favorite cards ever. We've got the 2 Rakshas's Bargain. We've got 2 Murktide as our top end. We do want to trigger Beanstalk, even though we don't have like a full dedication to Beanstalk. We do have 10 cards that trigger Beans, and we've got a couple Thoughtseize. One thing we don't have is we don't have Tamiyo. I decided to just cut her because I wanted to just focus on staying alive for the first few turns and then taking over with big creatures like Uro, with Endurance, with Murktide. We're not trying to win quickly. Murktide will often be a defensive creature that is just creates a giant wall, but we want to win inevitably. Let's take a look at the sideboard. A huge part of this deck is the double Pernicious Deed in the sideboard. We are largely unaffected by a Pernicious Deed, and we can just blow up our opponent's board and use this as like a Wrath of the Skies type effect. It's pretty powerful. And we have just a few cards that are good against combo, like Damping Sphere. We've got the 4 Force Negation. We've got the 2 Force of Vigor, which we have the green cards to support. And then we've got some anti-Delver type cards in the 3 Hydroblast and 3 Carpet of Flowers. So we're going to be boarding these in a lot of matchups because our deck can most definitely find good use for mana. Whenever you have Uro in your deck, you want to have Carpet. That's just how it is, in my humble opinion. The mana base is very simple, 20 lands. We are playing Mystic Sanctuary, so I am a little bit worried with having 2 ETB tap lands, but we do have plenty of every color. We've got the basic island, which turns on the Hydroblast if we're up against Moonstompy, and of course, we're going to hope to recur our Wastelands a lot, both through Witherbloom Command and through Glacierwood Siege. This should be a fun league. We'll see whether we get run over by faster stuff, but as long as we can stabilize, I think we're going to be favored in most fair matchups. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against the perhaps best Sneak and Show player on the planet. This person is frequently a trophy leader. Let's take a look at their more recent lists while they haven't yet connected to the game. So we have a lot of creatures. Generally, these types of decks play more than the Omnitel decks. Omnitel, you'll often just have 2 Emrakul, but for Sneak Attack, you do want to have lots of creatures. They have a couple Flusterstorms as defense. Stock-ups, main deck. Pentad Prism is interesting. Remove a charge counter, add 1 mana of any color. This is a strange choice. I'm not sure how good this card is, but they're experimenting with it. They've got the 2 Omnisciences in here as well. And they do have Mistrise Village. This is why you play Wasteland in your control decks now. I think it's been true for a while because of like Cavernous Holes and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get back to the match to see if they have joined yet. Here's our opening hand. Unfortunately, this Fatal Push doesn't do anything here. Endurance probably doesn't do anything. But we do have cantrips. We have a Force. I'm going to keep this just in case they go quickly. They've mulled to 6. They always play this deck, by the way. I think I've shown this on the channel, like their extreme dedication to this archetype, going back years, always playing it back in 2018. So 7 years of Sneak and Show. I've never played a deck that I've felt so in love with that I was willing to play it that much. Mistrise. So we're going to definitely hope to draw a Wasteland here. It'd be nice to take them off that. Okay. So I think what I do here is I go ahead and ponder and see if I can line up a Wasteland, and then next turn I'm going to brainstorm away the endurance and the fatal push. Thoughtseize is pretty damn good. And I guess we take land number 3. Witherbloom's not very good here, unfortunately. They're unlikely to play any permanents that we can hit. Let's take a look at their list again. Yeah. I mean, hitting a Pentad Prism would be good, I guess. It's better than nothing. I think Thoughtseize is worth keeping. So I think I will keep the Witherbloom. I don't really need this land. I mean, eventually I will need it, so maybe I should take it. It does represent another shuffle. Yeah, I think it's probably better than Witherbloom Command, sadly. So I'll just leave the Thoughtseize in my hand, just in case that is somehow, or on my deck, in case that's somehow relevant. Ponder. So this deck is not playing Orcish Bowmasters. It's not playing Tomio. It's not playing any of the early game stuff. The whole point is to bridge into the mid game, like survive. This is kind of like a Jeskai control philosophy. I lost a Jeskai control the other day, and I was like, man, we're working so hard trying to be proactive, and they could just sit back and do nothing. So I was like, why don't we try doing nothing? We will eventually do stuff, but I just wanted to have a deck where we could reliably survive the early turns. All right. So we're going to draw the Thoughtseize. I'm going to brainstorm first. I know that there is at least one bad card there, but I do want to shuffle away this Fatal Push. It does nothing in the matchup. Okay, we got double Thoughtseize. That's pretty damn good. Uro. I don't need this. I think I'd rather have the lands now that I have the Uro. Yeah, and Witherbloom is bad, but it's not terror bad. All right, let's go get our Underground Sea here, and we're going to Thoughtseize them. And hopefully we don't have to get in a force fight over this. Our deck is going to have a hard time winning before they can assemble a winning coalition of cards. But the fact that we're about to Thoughtseize them twice should help. Okay, so I kind of think we do force here because I do want to strip their win con, and we could just wait and pass the turn, but they have the potential, like the Ancient Tomb. What happens if they use this? I think I'm going to fight now because they can't fight back. Yeah. All right, so they do have the Show and Tell. They have the Pentad Prism. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to take the Show and Tell. And then next turn, we will take the Atraxa, I guess. Here comes Pentad Prism. I can just Witherbloom this. They can do that twice. Okay, so it's basically a store of mana. That's pretty good. See, we draw. Fatal Push. That's not good. And I don't have a way to get rid of it. I think what I want to do is just, I'm going to save my land drop just in case I hit a Fatal Push. Or a Wasteland, because I would like to get them off red completely. Let's go green, black, Witherbloom, cast. I'm going to mill myself, and I'm going to destroy that permanent. I will get back this Misty, I guess. I'll play it out, and I'm just going to go ahead and Thoughtseize that Attracts out of their hand and just leave them with nothing. That way they have to draw both an A and a B. The next turn, we'll start going into Eurotown. All right, we got them Hellbent. That was a 2-for-1, the Witherbloom, so it wasn't terrible. Okay, they draw land. Days probably not going to help us. Green, blue, blue, Uro. I'll play this out. I'm just going to go ahead and ponder here because force might be useful. Obviously, if we can get, we can get freaking Sanctuary and we can put a force back on top of our deck. That seems pretty good. And then we can ponder into it. This is probably fine. Yeah, because we're going to have Uro next turn. Yeah, and then I'll just go ahead and ponder for it. Oh, man, I don't want these other cards. I don't want these other cards. I'm going to any order shuffle. It's not worth getting the force. There's the Beanstalk. That's what we want. Okay. So I screwed myself. I should have just gotten the freaking Trop so I could bring Uro back. Now I may not be able to. They can Surveil here. They can't really do anything scary with the way it's like currently. The scariest thing they could do would be put a Show and Tell in play. Oh, Stock Up would be bad. Oh, another Misrise Village. Okay. Yeah, I really screwed up with Mystic Sanctuary. Sorry, my excellent friends. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, that does give us it next turn. I can Surveil here in the instep. Another Pentad Prism. Okay, they're making this uncounterable. Yeah, they're getting the Show and Tell. Oh, Pentad Prism. I guess I can't counter it. right, they've got tons of mana over there. We just need to bring back the Uro and start going to town here. We can go in the yard. It's going to be sloggy. Okay, so we could go ahead and just take a turn to Witherbloom. I can't see a world in which that's correct. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can add any color. So if they rip Atraxa, they could actually cast it, which... No, wait. They can't. Because they only have access to 3 colors. That's... Then I'm going to bring back Uro. Blue, green, blue. Uro time. 1, 2. I'll leave 1 land in my graveyard. 3... Okay, Uro's back. We draw a trigger. Merc is a good answer for next turn. Okay, let's just pass. Next turn, we're going to hit them for 6 plus draw a card off of Murktide Regent. That's a lot of freaking mana. It's still not Gristlebrand or Atraxa. None of their creatures can be cast with the mana they're currently presenting. Okay, we could actually double Merc here. So they drop 11. I can just put them dead on board here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Green. Witherbloom. I'm going to mill I'll drain for 2. It doesn't change anything because we can just put out a dude. Yeah, I'll just mill myself and I will destroy target permanent. Hopefully I find a wasteland. That'd be nice. Yeah, wasteland. Okay, wasteland comes in. Did we already play our land? Oh, no, we didn't. I think I just take them off one of these red sources. That way, like, they're not going to even be able to show and tell and kill us in the same turn cycle. I'm kind of surprised they haven't conceded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. Draw trigger. Another fatal push. I guess I'll go ahead and dig just in case I can find... Yeah, Rakshas's Bargain is pretty damn good. Don't need the endurance. Yeah, I guess just... I mean, it's a good card to have in hand. They scoop. Okay. Yeah, we had it like totally locked. I don't think there was anything they could have drawn there. All right. So this is definitely like a Hydroblast matchup and a Force Negation. I'm going to take out all my creature interaction except for the Murderous Cuts. Those... Well, Shielded Edict is actually better than Murderous Cut because it can hit Emrakul. So I think it does stay in. Glacierwood Siege would have been pretty sick there if we've been able to waste them repeatedly. We do have 3 wastelands. We just had to dig really hard and we're not finding them. I'm going to take out the endurances. That gives us a lot of room. We can put in Damping Sphere. They do have mana that like taps from multiple. It's pretty bad, but like it can slow them down, slow down their cantripping. Alternatively, we could just bring in the Force of Vigors. What does Force of Vigor hit? It hits the Pentad Prism. It hits Sneak Attack and Omniscience. Oh, it doesn't feel very good, does it? I think I'd rather bring in Carpets just to accelerate our plan. Do we want to bring in all 3? I don't know why we shouldn't. We could take out Basic Island. Did they ever play Blood Moon or Magus the Moon? They do have one in there. I think I could just take out the Bayou. Yeah, I'll take out the Bayou. So I'll keep the island in just in case we need to Hydroblast something. All right, let's do it. So hard to understate the importance of Thoughtseize there. Thoughtseize was pretty critical. This hand slaps. Absolutely insane hand. I'm going to keep this hand and I'm going to hope to like waste them repeatedly if they give us the option to do so. They are not. So now we can just surveil for a land. We got Beanstalk. Love it. Witherbloom Command will be really good if we can like recur this wasteland. They are playing. Okay, they are fetching. They may fetch basics here. I only showed them 1 wasteland last game. Fine. Let's go get our Maze. Carpet. I mean, it is a second mana source. I think we keep it. I'm going to Carpet. And then I'm going to pass through combat and I think go ahead and Beanstalk here. I think, yeah, there's no wasteland target, so we might as well. They may fetch and surveil in the end step. That's fine. Got some green here. Beans. They don't fight over the beans. Ponder's not bad. All right. If we can survive this next turn, I'll feel pretty good. They could have Veil. No, they don't play Veil. They just play Fluster. But Fluster is still pretty tough for us to beat. So they're going to grab a basic mountain here. Oh, they don't have a basic mountain. They thought it was more important to get this Veil. So next turn, I'm going to Witherbloom them and waste them twice maybe if we can. I'm going to keep the days up. Mistrized Village. This still does cost a lot of mana to use. Okay. So this black mana means Thoughtseize is on the menu. What do we want to do here? I think we want to Thoughtseize ASAP. So I'm going to add black here. I think what... Oh, yeah, we get 2 black. Well, I'm going to start with the Thoughtseize. If they fight, I will force. They could make like a Fluster uncounterable. The Thoughtseize was a great rip. All right, Untimely Malfunction. Just change the target spell or ability with a single target. Man, this card is really good. Well, I'm going to force pitch Ponder. And then if they do something like with Mistrise to try to make it uncounterable, we get a draw trigger. Looks like we're getting in. Oh my goodness. They had the force, but they didn't have the blue card. Well, we're taking the sneak attack here. Yeah, I'll take the sneak attack. Now I'm going to waste this. I'm going to green Witherbloom. I'll mill myself. I'll destroy their petal. I'll get the wasteland back. I'm just going to wasteland them savagely. They have 1 land. They have an Ancient Tomb. Played it out. Defense Grid is fine. I can't do anything about that. It does shut off them using force against me, which is kind of nice. So we get 1 mana. I'm going to use it to Uro here. I think I'm just going to add blue here, and then I'll Ponder. Mystic Sanctuary is not good. Rakshas's Bargain is good, but it's a few turns away. I really want to find the other Witherbloom command. I can use Sanctuary later. I'm going to any order shuffle this and just see if we can spike. Okay, we got the Bargain anyway without having to get all the bad cards with it. I'm just going to waste them here. So, yeah, nothing else to be done here, unfortunately. If we find another land, then we do have Rakshas's Bargain. Okay, this doesn't help our mana situation. Okay, there we go. That's the land. I'm going to add blue. Play this out. I'm just going to Uro here. Just get him in our yard and dig a little deeper. Next turn, I can bargain. I mean, I could just bargain now. Yeah, I think I'm going to bargain now. They can't counter it. So we get the trigger. Sanctuary, okay. Now I'm going to take the Trop or the Misty, and I'll take, I guess, another Hydroblast. Yeah, I don't need that much mana with them feeding me through Carpet. So what I'm going to do, next turn I will Uro, and then I can Sanctuary the Witherbloom on top, and then I can use Witherbloom to hit their defense grid the subsequent turn. I will add blue. I could actually just bring Uro. Yeah, I'll just bring Uro back. I have one in my yard. Blue, green, blue, green. Uro comes... Oh, wait. Sorry. I almost guessed the Uro from hand. That would have been embarrassing. Let's escape Uro here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Uro's back. Put the Sanctuary in. Sanctuary is going to buy back Witherbloom. Okay. We could go ahead and Ponder just for momentum. Try to... I mean, that's pretty insane too. The Beanstalk, but I'll just... Wait, I already played a land and I also fetched, right? Or let's see, I used my Uro land, but did I use my land draw for turn? I did. Okay. So I'm just going to leave them stacked like this. I can bin the Wasteland when I Witherbloom. All right. It all comes down to like whether they can win here. If they have the ability to show and tell Emrakul, then we lose. If they don't, we are going to win. That's fine. Because we're going to hit Witherbloom, and then they'll have no lands. Yeah. Clean kill. This deck feels good. There's a lot of mana involved. I'm worried about the tempo matchups. See you in round 2. I just said I was worried about the tempo matchups. We're up against a likely blue-black tempo player. They have a freaking trophy from today Very aggressive build. The 4 Bowmasters, 2 Kaito. This is pretty much exactly what I would play right now if I just had to go and enter a major tournament. Yeah, shoot the Sheriff as their Drown in the Loch is a flex spot. Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm going to keep this hand that has lots of interaction, lots of mana. My instinct is to go ahead and just surveil into Beanstalk. This deck only has 1 basic, so it's kind of like we're never going to be playing on that basic. Ideally, it's like a desperation basic for when you get like a 1-lander and you have a ponder. Let's pass. If they try to cast something, what I'll do is I'll just let it resolve, and then I'll have Daze up for when they try to Daze my Beanstalk. Yeah, that's fine. Daze is not like a tempo card in this. It's just like to help you ensure that you can resolve your Beanstalk. That's the main role that it plays, and it's kind of like Force of Will number 5. So Hedge Maze here. Looking for another green source would be nice in case they do have a Wasteland, and because we have Endurance. That is, I mean, they're on blue-black tempo. I don't think we want this. I'm going to bin it. I can always get it back with Witherbloom if I need to, but I don't see the game being about that. Green, black, Beanstalk. I will Daze back. I want my Beanstalk. We in? We are in. That augurs very well for us. They can waste us and keep us kind of like in a holding pattern for a few turns if they want to, but they haven't developed anything yet. Okay, they're not wasting us. That's great. So they could definitely have... I think we Witherbloom just to get ahead. Like if they Daze this is totally chill. I want to fill up my yard. Maybe flip an Uro. Gain some life. That's not bad. I'm not going to wait around though. I think we need to be doing something proactive. Okay. And we'll just get back this Wasteland. I think is fine. We've got all this mana. Like I might find myself in a situation where I wish I grabbed something else, but we're in a position to tax our opponent's mana. They did Daze us. We know that they have an Underground Sea in hand. What I'll probably do is I'll just chill and waste later. Okay. So I have Instep Endurance, which may get dazed. Another Witherbloom command. Well, I could just waste and then Witherbloom and they made Daze. Yeah, I think I am going to do this. Do you have a Bowmaster? If they Bowmaster, though, that may mean... Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and regrow this again. And just... I know, it's like, but I am filling up my yard. Gaining some life that I might need later. Okay, I'm just going to get the Wasteland back again. They may have Merc. Merc is actually kind of scary here because it'd be a 5/5. And I don't have an immediate answer to it. They grab the island, which is a victory. But they're playing another thing. Like, so they have at least 2 lands in hand. I'm surprised they grabbed this island, but they're grabbing their basics. This is fine. All right, so how much do we want to respect Daze? Holy cow, I could just cast this. I think I cast this, and then that bridges us into Daze for the subsequent land. I don't know that they'll counter this. I don't know if it makes sense to counter this. We show the Wasteland we already have. I think I'm going to play this out because I could potentially Sanctuary this back, and this is an answer to Merc. Blue, green. Please Daze this card. I don't think it's consequential at all, but being able to just play a land out of our graveyard for the rest of the game would be pretty rad. So we can get card advantage without drawing, which is nice. If this resolves, they will never get to 3 mana, or they'll never get to 4 mana rather. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy they did that instead of dazing my Endurance. Endurance is the card that I really want to resolve. Also, they are a turn away from... okay, so now we're almost certainly going to resolve an Endurance here, which is very good for us because it means we don't have to worry about Merc. Unless they have a Force in hand. If they have a Force in hand, then we're going to get a 3 mana Hymn to Torok. They can't double Daze. I think I could put the Witherbloom back on top just because... Do I want to play this out? No, I need to play green out. What am I doing? Let's go get a another trop. Just going to go ahead and do it now. Green, green. Not going to try to be sneaky. They've already seen it. They don't know I have a second one, though. Now we dump their yard, and we have a pretty big blocker. We just chill. Like, the whole point of Endurance is it's a really big blocker, and it just buys time. If they do have the audacity to play out like a creature, I will, or play out a land, I will waste it. Okay. They're not attacking. That's good for us. I'm going to waste. It's fine. We're going to go past combat. I kind of want to put an endurance on the table. I'm actually kind of aggroing them a little bit here with endurance. I could just attack. They're not going to block, but they are going to get lower in life here. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Let's tuck their graveyard again. So we've got our shields up. I think we are pressuring them quite a bit. They have a fatal push. That's fine. My hand is not strong. I do think at this point I want a sanctuary for Wasteland, and then I can underground seed them. Kaito's in. Kaito's okay. Kaito can stun here. Definitely would like to find an Uro here, or like the best card I could find would be Bargain. Okay, there's the Uro. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to Kaito kill this. Or try to Uro kill this. So I'm going to go ahead and Sanctuary first. Let's get the Witherbloom here. That'll go on top. Now we're going to go like this. And if they have another days, it's going to be unfortunate. So they get a ping. I'm going to go green, black. I'm going to try to kill this. I'm just going to gain some life, I think, and drain them. Because like life is probably the most important thing here. Okay, and that worked. Next turn we have Brainstorm, assuming they don't have yet another Bowmaster. If they do, it's okay. We can bring Uro back. They're not going to be able to lock everything down forever. Okay, they're attacking in. They could have Fatal Push or something for our graveyard. There's the other Bowmaster. So we didn't get a reprieve that we wanted, but it's okay. Uro will be a pretty good blocker, but they are pressuring us quite a bit. There's Tommy. That's not a big deal, really. This is absolutely a matchup where I'm going to bring it. Oh. We put this out. They can just stun it. I might be able to find a land, and then like if I do, I could bring back... I definitely want to bring back Uro. And maybe I get lucky and find a Fatal Push here. But Uro does dig me deeper. So exile an Endurance. Exile a land. Endurance. Beanstalk. So we're keeping all our instants and sorceries here. This comes in. Okay. That worked. They ping. I am going to go ahead and push here. I need to get that out of the way. Now Kaito can stun. But then I do have Endurance coming in. And Merc off the top. They need another Bowmaster pretty badly if they want to stay in this. I don't think Kaito alone is going to be able to do it. They do have a Wasteland for one of my green sources. That's fine. Kaito is super brittle here at 1, but I don't have the Bowmaster in my 75, unfortunately, to punish. So we're going to take a lot of damage here. They get a clue. Tommy is very good, even this late in the game, because they have lots of mana. That's what I would say. Like Nethergoyf and Tommy are cards that just stay good. Okay, this is fine. I'm going to attack the Kaito for sure. I need to kill him. Unless they can kill Endurance. They do have a Wasteland, so if they can find a Fatal Push, they could push my Endurance. We're also getting into territory where we have to worry about them merking. But I have the bigger merc. That's fine. Okay. Got to turn this corner. We're at 7 life. Yeah, they are wasting us off black. I think that's less consequential than green. Bargain sees a lot of cards, but what is it we need to see here? We could bargain, draw a card, get a lot of cards. Merc, large Merc, they can regrow Fatal Push, but that's not going to answer. If we hit their graveyard, then we don't have to worry about them regrowing their stuff. But we're looking at we're looking at lethal basically. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 plus 3. My instinct is to Brainstorm first to see what we find. And then Merc probably. But I am a little bit worried that they could top deck something good. If we bargain here, we're going to just pay so much mana in the process. I think I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm first. Shieldred's Edict would be the best. We found it. Okay, Shieldred's Edict is great. They have to choose between their 2 beloved children. We can also cut. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut here and then I'll Merc. And then I can save the Shieldred's Edict for later, I guess. This is going to draw 2 cards. Thanks to the power. I want to do this first just in case they have days. I definitely want to have this Merc on the table. Merc. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to be Thoughtseizing him again this game. It's a big Merc. Triggers. So, yeah, this actually has to resolve. If it doesn't, we're dead. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because they can just... actually, they can't stun. Okay. So they can regrow Fatal Push, but they can't stun. All right, so now we're going to get to see what kind of aerobics they can do in terms of finding an answer. They have the Borrower they can put in to survive, but they don't have the mana currently. Okay, they're plussing. They're plussing Tommy. Brainstorming. I have no idea what they could find here. They could have land plus Shielder's Edict. They could have land plus... Yeah, I'm not sure. They're dead on board unless they have like some sort of instant spell that kills Merc. So now we have Force. I think we just attack them for lethal. And that's that. Oh, wait. Yeah, they can't put this in. And then I'll see what happens after this. I'm just going to attack them. It gets debuffed, but it's still lethal. We have Force to deal with whatever they do here. All right, we won. That was pretty intense. So, as I said, this deck is very mana intensive. So we're bringing in the carpets for sure. Cards that are less important here. Thoughtseize comes out. I don't want to be damaging myself against them. This is a Deed matchup. I like Deed a lot here because it blows up all their clues. It blows up their Orc army. It blows up their Bowmasters. It's just like if we navigate the game to a late game state where we can cast a Deed, it's going to be really good. I like everything that's big in here. Daze comes out. We're not going to be pressuring their lands too much. We could even cut one of these Wastelands, probably because we just put 3 mana sources in. I don't expect Wasteland to be great, but if we do get into a situation with Witherbloom where we're able to waste them a few times, we may be able to slow them down. I do think us hitting their mana was not nothing there. I think it did do something. So there are some matches where it makes sense to go ahead and just pull a Beanstalk. And I think like these Bowmaster type matchups, maybe it does. Beanstalk was pretty good there. It did draw us 2 cards, and it could have drawn us more if the game had gone on with Rakshasa's Bargain in our hand. I think I could pull I'm not going to pull out a Force against a Bowmaster deck. I think I'll just take the Beanstalk out. Actually, you know what? I would probably just take another waste out. I think that was probably actually the correct decision, is take the second waste out, and then we still got all the mana because we got all the carpet, but we don't have the colorless mana that doesn't really help us. Like our deck barely uses colorless mana. Almost nothing in our deck has colorless pips. We do have to worry about time. We're down about 4 minutes from our opponent, and this deck is an Uro deck. It's not a Life from the Loam deck, which is important on MTGO. It's not important in paper, but like Life from the Loam drains so much clock on MTGO. This is not a keepable hand. Way too much risk. Come on, carpet hand. All right, this is fine. I'll keep this. I'm going to put back the Bargain. Glacierwood Seige is going to be pretty good. If we can just play land every turn, that'd be great. And this is like Daze Bait. I don't really care if it gets countered. Whoa, Scoob. I think we wait a turn because they could Thoughtseize us, yes. But we have a Surveil into carpet. I think that's fine. And then next turn, we don't have to worry about Daze. Did they keep a greedy hand? Is that why they're doing this? Oh, yeah, there we go. Tommy, that's fine. Endurance loves to snack on Tommies. I am going to just fetch during my turn. I'm not going to end step fetch just because oh, that's nice, actually. Yeah, I can waste our Wasteland. Then I can go for carpet. Well, I'm going to activate that. I think it's fine to go for carpet here. I'm going to do it. There's not a good reason to do it now. I should have probably just grabbed the island. I'm going to go for it. And then if this gets dazed, it sucks, but I've got like so much mana. It's not, oh, they force it. Okay, that's really good for us. Okay, Brazen Borrower is the pitch. So they're like pretty all in on this Tommy to rebuild, or they're hoping to tempo us, which is not going to work when we have 5 lands in our deck, or 3 more lands in our hand, rather. They may have like just tons, and they are accumulating clues, but they're going to need more land to cash in those clues. There's the Brainstorm, so they flip her. So now the clues are not the issue. This is a way we could lose. Witherbloom Command kills her. Shield Rosita kills her. But we don't have a lot of ways to pressure her. There's Witherbloom. So I do need Witherbloom to resolve here. So I may wait an extra turn just to get the Daze mana. Let's see. This goes up to 8. I can't wait. Unfortunately, I have to go for it next turn. Well, technically I could wait. Yeah, I'm going to Surveil here. If I can find a Fatal Push to get rid of this other Tommy, that'd be nice. But Shield Rosita is definitely the best draw in my deck right now. Beanstalk is not bad. If we Beanstalk digs us a card deeper, which digs us a card closer to a potential force. If we wait, I do think we wait. I'm going to take this card. It may seem greedy, but like we're totally screwed anyway if they are able to stop our Witherbloom Command. Okay, Uro. But I don't want to get dazed. They could regrow force. They're not. They're going for it. All right. Grit and a Clue. They only have one land, though. If we can get rid of Tommy, I think we're going to be in a really good position. Endurance. Okay. So, moment of truth. Do you have the force? I'll mill myself, and I'll destroy Tommy. All right. That worked. I am very, very happy. I think I'll just take the Trop here just to ensure that I somehow don't get wasted out. And now we just pass. And we're very far ahead now. Next turn, I can Glacierwood Siege and just make land drops with Uro. That'll be pretty sick. We got a lot of clues there. Ponder. Yeah, if I Glacierwood Siege and then waste whatever land they play here, that'll be good. They didn't find a land. All right. I think we just cut. It does cantrip. Yeah, I'm just going to cut here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Triggers the Beanstalk. Shield Rosita, great rip. Now I can go ahead and just play the Siege. And we haven't really given him... Well, we gave him a day's... Did we give him a day's opportunity? I guess I could put Witherbloom on top. And then we Siege. Yeah. Witherbloom's not that great. I'm going to put Cut on top. Cut is so good right now. I guess I could have put Force on top. I'm going to choose Sultai so we can... It's confusing, but yeah, we're not going to be milling them. We're going to be recurring our lands. So now they have maximum 2 lands for the rest of the game. Okay. And now we just take over basically. So I'll go ahead and just go green. I guess it's fine to go ahead and just play out a land first. And then that feels so good. Just playing lands from your graveyard. How broken is that? Yeah. We'll just go ahead and do this and we'll play another land. Freaking sick. This deck is awesome. I'm having so much fun. Oh, I have to put it from hand. I can't use the graveyard for that? Oh, that makes it less good. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, yeah. Well, we'll just have to do it next turn then. I guess I could just... yeah, I'm just going to kick it. I think it'd be greedy to play like a Murktide here when we have this value engine going. Okay, I'll play this Wasteland now. Then I will fetch... I'll just get a Bayou, I guess. There's nothing to waste, so I can't bring back Uro. Oh, I can just waste my own land. Feels kind of weird to do that, but I think bringing back Uro is fine here. Actually, this is a misplay because I don't want to clear out my graveyard. I've got lots of cards I can play from my graveyard. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm not sure what 7 cards they have in their hand, but we have Uro out, and I'm feeling good. We get this land. Good cut. If they draw a Merc, it's not that big of a deal. We'll have a bigger Merc. We also have Shieldred's Edict and Murderous Cut. So yeah, I'm not really fearing anything here. Shoot the Sheriff, sure. Okay, Deed blows up their clues, and it's just like a good thing to put on the board. I think I'm going to go ahead and Endurance first because I don't mind if that gets countered. If Deed gets countered, that's much... Or no, actually, I want Endurance to work. I don't care about Deed working. It's just like a nice to have at this point. Like if we can blow up all their clues. Green, black, Deed. Would you like to daze this? They do. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just trying to get cards in my graveyard so I can bring Uro back and cast Murktide. And now we've got a clock. All right, they have clue activation. If they want it, they may have Bowmasters in hand. We'll go ahead and play this land out. I'm just going to go ahead and attack. And I'll pass with the other Endurance up and like all this other stuff up. They can crack clues. It's fine. I can't stop them from doing that anymore. Okay, they do crack a clue. I'm just going to assume we're going to win this game. I'm not going to worry too much about my clock. I can't. It would be crazy for us to lose this game. I did, delve away my wasteland, though, so I do kind of have it coming if I lose. Because I could have just held them in holding pattern for the rest of the game. So let's hit their graveyard again. All those great late game cards like Days going back in there. Yeah, nothing to be done here. I'll just go ahead and go to tax. Yeah, I think bringing back Uro was a mistake. I probably should have just played Mark out or something. I mean, it's hard to say it was a mistake. We're incredibly far ahead. We have answers to the next 4 threats, and we have our own Mark Tide that we can just stick at our leisure. I think I will basically Fatal Push anything with Prejudice here just because they have to get discard for cleanup. That's a bummer for them. They're fetching. That's fine. More Uro food. Are they going to kill this one too? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Brainstorm. I'm just going to Brainstorm here just to fill up my graveyard. If they have their Bowmasters, I am happy to welcome it. Yep, there's Bowmaster. They get a ping. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and push before they get all their triggers. So they do get 1 trigger. We get to draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, it's all good stuff. I'll just put back these 2 Fatal Pushes, I guess. Now I'll just go, let's see, we could bring back Uro here. I think it's fine. I mean, Merc brings it back too, but Merc can be pitched to force. Uro's basically just a free card at this point. I can force to protect him. So I'm trying to think from their side of the table, how would they win? They probably need another Fatal Push. So they waste me, turn on Revolt, Fatal Push, attack, somehow Kaito. I could just force this. I think it's fine. I'll pitch my Merc. He's not doing anything at this point. Draw trigger. Okay, we've got a bunch of Fatal Pushes. Kaito main phased. It's fine. Okay, they're going to be able to get in for 1 here. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of Kaito now. Okay, and then I guess I Ponder. Ponder is my blue card for force. I think I'm just going to cut. Yeah, just in case they have another Kaito in hand. I don't want them to actually get it in. I want to kill it. Just cut this. It feels weird to be cutting it, but I think it's fine. We draw a card. It's a land. I can play it out. I'll pass. Now I have a land every turn again. So I doubled away some of my lands. That was an issue. Okay, Barrow. That's fine. Merc would be kind of scary, but I just force Merc. Yeah, I'll just force Merc. Draw trigger. Another land that we don't need. Okay, their last card could be Days. Let me go ahead and fetch. I need to turn on Revolt anyway. Grab an Underground Sea, and I'm just going to push here. They're down to 1 card, but they still have the clue. So, Uro is still sleepy. I can go ahead and draw through this Uro. I only have 1 land left in my deck. Keep the one that is still alive. I'm not going to die to escape. Sure, I'll play out my last land. I think that's fine. Actually, I think that was a mistake. I'm going to go ahead and Ponder here. I'm just I don't want you to think I'm playing with my food. I'm trying to figure out a way to win here. I think we just take the force. We have Hardcast Force up. And then we shuffle everything else away. Because I can fetch the island. Yeah, and I'll just pass. There we go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. Because I don't have any land to fetch. But it may deter them from trying to daze me. They may not know that I don't have a land to fetch. I'm just going to fetch. And I'm going to force this. If they had Bowmaster, it would actually be pretty good. They crack the clue. 2 cards in hand. They force back. Okay, they really want to get rid of this. Well, we draw our card. They're hellbent. They have a Preacher in exile. Uro again next turn. I'm not going to use that carpet. Blue, green, green, blue, Uro. I'll get rid of the land. I don't think it matters at this point. 1. I'll play this out. Uro's in. I'm going to waste them and Ponder here. I'm looking for a 4. Merc is not terrible. I don't want these other cards though. I guess I could take the Merc and just shuffle. Okay, Endurance is fine. I'm just going to Endurance now. They're hellbent. I mean, I applaud them for even playing this long. I would have scooped so long ago. Oh, I can play the Wasteland. Now they can't even cast this anymore. Tommy. That keeps them alive, but it doesn't really because I can just push it. Yep, good game. All right. We haven't lost a game. It feels good. It's a good deck. It's very mana intensive, pretty click intensive. That was 2 games, and I almost went to time. I had like 2 minutes left on my clock, game 2. So it is a slow deck. What a joy to like get up to use the restroom and come back and see a hand like this. Neville Shoot, very strong player. I played against them many times, lost many times against them. They've been playing just straight up Turbo Doomsday. I like where we are. Witherbloom's pretty powerful. Catching Doomsday players unawares. I'm not going to put back a hand like this even against Doomsday. I'm just going to hope that we can get, our Beanstalk on. We've got Surveil into Beanstalk. If they try to turbo, it's going to suck. Yeah, they're going to take our Beanstalk. Witherbloom's not good when they know it's coming. They can just play around it. All right. Fatal Push, not a good card against them. But if they get greedy, they don't know it's in our hand. If they get greedy and like try to win without clearing their pile, we can punish. I don't think it's likely to matter. Witherbloom is probably something we want to proactively cast. It drains them from life, which can be good, but it can also help us get a Merc down sooner. And I think getting a Merc down soon is a good way to win. They are unlikely to be able to address Merc. They don't have anything in their deck. They don't have Fatal Push. They don't have anything main deck if they're still playing this list. So we're definitely going to want to early mark, and I'm going to want to bin practically everything, but I won't bin a Beanstalk. I'm sorry. Too much of beans fanatic. I go bananas for beans. All right, let's do this. This is going to get dazed probably, but it means like subsequent cards won't get dazed. All right, we're in. All right. One good bean deserves another. Isn't that like an old baseball pitcher thing? All right. This does not tap for black, so they still need Dark Writ to cast their signature spell. Barrow. Well, I'm happy that I am playing Fatal Push here. Force, please. Oh, Wasteland's not bad. I think I waste them and then I Fatal Push. That means we can't do anything else, but Fatal Push, yeah, we have to resolve this. Now we have Revolt. Let's go ahead and see if they have a Force. All right, that's clear. We are having a great time here. They have to Dark Writ to Doomsday. We can Witherbloom and re-waste. All right, yeah, I'm gonna re-waste. Thoughtseize is actually pretty appealing. I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize first, and then we can Merc. I would like to waste them again, but if they have nothing going on, we could just step on the gas. No, I'll probably go ahead and just take a turn to Beanstalk again, so we double draw off Merc. Okay, they do have Doomsday. I am going to be taking their Doomsday. This Bowmasters is kind of a pain in the butt, but they don't have, like, okay, let's say hypothetically we Merc. So I can't Witherbloom here because, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Doomsday. No, wait. I think we do take the Doomsday. We Witherbloom to clear their... If we take the Force, we take the Ponder. They don't have the selection, but they're like... Yeah, they're 2 lands away from casting Doomsday if they don't find a Dark Writ. I don't think it's correct to take Doomsday here. I take the Ponder. Then I Merc. I've got a big creature that they can't get through. They'll probably Beanstalk in response to the Merc just to get the counter. And then I can Witherbloom it away. Yeah, I'm going to take the Ponder. And I'll just leave the Wasteland in my yard. I'll take everything else. I'm going to take the Trop. I don't think they play Waste, and I just don't want to find myself in a situation where I'm without green. Blue. Merc. Right. Do you want to Bowmaster this? They do. And then next turn, we're going to be able to kill Bowmaster, and they know it because they saw the command. They're just in a tough spot. This is big enough. Oh, Force. That's a good draw. All right. So this is going to serve as like an aggressor. Now, if they do want to Doomsday, they're going to be pretty low on life. They can't attack here. The best draw in our deck would be any blue card because then we can Force Protect our Witherbloom. That's what I'm talking about. Green, black, Witherbloom command. I would like to mill myself and I would like to kill that Bowmaster. Would you like to force? I would like to force as well. This is probably the end of the game. I do get a trigger here on this before the Bowmaster dies. Their hand is Doomsday. Good game. That felt incredible. I love, like, I don't know. Witherbloom is such a good card. It's come up every single match so far this league. Witherbloom being good. Like, getting back a Wasteland. Even against, we took out like a defense grid with it, I think. Yeah, this card is just cracked. It's awesome. So against Doomsday, I mean, I'm not going to cut my removal because they're playing Baragoyf and that card is terrifying. I think we could play Carpet. Just put the pedal on the metal. Pedal to the metal, rather. I am an English speaker. Take out the days on the draw. Bring in a Carpet. I think that's it. Deed doesn't really do much. Yeah, none of these cards really do anything. Force Negation is okay, but again, I don't want to bring in Force Negation when they are... I mean, it pitches to Endurance. Yeah, Endurance is another thing we have up our sleeve. I mean, we just got this covered from so many angles. I think we could cut a Fatal Push because Shieldred's Edict and Merc are pretty good, and I'd be surprised if they had a heavy dedication of creatures. Maybe we bring in a Carpet just because Carpet is so strong against them. They have like one Swamp, and everything else is a blue card. Yeah, I'll do that. I just want to get some more Glacierwood Seige going. I'm so excited about this card. It was like 0.3 tickets or something. Nobody's playing this card. This is a great hand. I'll snap keep this. This is a slow hand. But we do have the force in case they try to turbo us. They keep. Ponder would be great. Carpet is good later. It's going to pass. I'm not going to play into Days for anything. Catacombs. One of the coolest looking fetches in my humble opinion. I love just like, you just want to go down there and like, you can almost like smell the Catacombs. Thought sees me. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm going to let it happen. I've got a variegated hand. Lots of optionality. But if they Doomsday me next turn, I may not be able to catch up. And there is a risk in letting them Thoughtseize you because they see how weak you are. Yeah, they took the force. So they're going to go for it. They're definitely not going to go creature route if they're taking the force here. Oh, yes, that's so good. I am going to Uro here. I can't bargain because it costs 2. Like, I need more colors. I'm going to Carpet, and I'll Uro just to get deeper into my deck. Green. They're dazing that? Deal. 100% deal. I guess their daze isn't going to get any better now that I have the Carpet out. Maybe they don't even want to... Oh, man. Hopefully they don't Dark Rit Doomsday. I'm not ready for it, unfortunately. Rakshas's Bargain may be able to find us something. Some counterplay. Wow. They just scooped. We haven't lost a game. We have not lost a game with my random brew that I woke up at like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you a tale. So last night I went to my weekly. I was playing just straight blue-black tempo. My main, basically. Like, when in doubt, I would go to that. And I just got destroyed by a bigger version of blue-black tempo with a bunch of Baragoyfs. And then round 2, I queued into playing against a 12-post player. And it's just like really dull, non-interactive games. Because my opponent is just like trying to resolve one ring. It's like, okay, they resolved one ring, they're dead. Are they going to find the other one ring? They found the other one ring. And like, oh my goodness, Karn's Silex or something like that, I think is what it's called. The card is just brutal against blue-black tempo. So yeah, like I was like, oh, and I O2 dropped at my own locals, where I sometimes 3-0. And I was just like so devastated that I went home. I was like, oh, popped some popcorn, just sat there, did some work. And then I went to sleep. I couldn't sleep. And so I went on Moxfield and just started tweaking stuff on my phone. And then came up with this brew. And so far I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure it's super suboptimal, but I'm having fun. All right, round 4. We're up against a likely Oops Up player. They're on the play. They've already mulliganed. I am going to mulligan and just assume they're on Oops. That's what they were playing most recently. This is a force hand. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to tuck the Sanctuary. Yeah, I would, like, if they're not on Oops, I'll feel like a fool for mulling further. Okay, Oops. So I think I just could force this. This is a mana source. Because they probably have like some discard effect. Yeah, I'm just going to force here. Okay, and they still have all their stuff, but like they were going to have some sort of hand disruption probably. I'll surveil and then I will Beanstalk. We'll have to claw back into this. Good luck, have fun. Oops, player. Okay, they're shocking it in. Dark Ritual again. All right, we're dead. And it's hard to know like whether it's correct to do that. I'll look at their deck. It's the Oops player. I think the deck is done. Like it's done being optimized. I haven't seen any real variation in a long time. Yeah, so it could be they didn't have any disruption. Well, 4 Narcomoebas, that's different. Usually they're down to like 1 or 2. Yeah, I'll just let this happen. I'm not going to let them see my hand because I don't want them to see that I'm on Beanstalk. I haven't given away any information. I pitched a Uro, so I gave that information away. So I like to let them cast the Cabal Therapy because then I can count the number of therapies that they have. And I don't see anything coming out of it. I don't really see any other useful information here. Yeah, they're playing Durus. Yeah, I mean, they're playing with 4 Duruses. So I figure what they had, like their final card, it might be a Durus. I don't know. But the way they Dark Ridded, they could have just had Dark Ritual. But if you force, then you don't necessarily have to find out whether they had a discard spell until the subsequent turn. But if they do have the discard spell, then they're just going to discard you and then win. So it's a tough situation. Okay, so forces come in. That's really it. We can take a look at their exact list that they were playing a few days ago. Beseech, Charbelcher, LED. There's not... I mean, it might be worth bringing in the Vigors. They do increase the green count. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. So I don't think they're bringing in creatures. They have... Yeah. It's crazy that their deck is like all creatures, but like no creatures, basically. It's like a creatureless creature deck. I don't think there's any other secretly good card in our sideboard that we need to worry about here. I think I'm just going to take out my pushes. There could be a situation where they have some sort of creature juke, but Cut will probably address it. Shield Edict is pretty bad too. I don't think Witherbloom Command is good at all against them. I'm not sure if it's good for anything other than the fact that it's a green card. I mean, it could, in theory, hit like a Chrome Mox. They might be playing more Chrome Moxes. Chrome Moxin. Glacierwood Seige is a green card. I think I just cut another black card. Yeah, and then if they do some crazy juke, they got us. No, I'll just cut one of the Wastelands. Yeah, I'll do that. Sanctuary is actually pretty decent thing to cut too. But like if you look at our deck, like so few color pips that are color, like obviously Force, Merc, you're not casting those. You're not paying for the colorless pips on cut. So this is a high risk, high reward hand. If we just Thoughtseize, they can't do anything about that. I think I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to mull into Oblivion when I could just Thoughtseize them and take their Wincon, whatever it may be. So I'm going to go get the Bayou here because it's in my deck, and then I'll have all 3 colors. All right, let's hope that they don't have redundant Wincons. They do not have redundant Wincons. So we just take the Balustrade Spy. They Thoughtseize us. We take our Thoughtseize. Yeah, their deck sucks when they don't have one of their 8 Wincons, but they may be playing Charbelcher, and if they are, they will have additional Wincons. So they're shocking here. Thoughtseizing, that's fine. This is the kind of hand you can only keep on the play, for sure. I am just going to Thoughtseize them again, I think. Actually, I think I'm going to Wasteland and Thoughtseize them. This is not the worst, in my opinion. We could take their mana source here, their permanent mana source, and leave them with like a bunch of jank. I think that's fine. They can definitely climb back from this position, but it won't be easy. They did find a land. That's a good start. Endurance is great. I think I'm just going to play this out and chill for a turn to maximize looks. Because I do want to hit a 3rd land so I can start Urowing. Okay, they're not shocking it in or bolting it in. That's good to know. If we naturally draw a land... Okay, I'm just going to brainstorm here. Okay, these are all good. We don't need this Uro. Well, actually, we don't need this land. I'm going to put the land back because I can hedge maze, bin the land, I'll put I'll put one of these back. Then I'll play this out. Now I can do this. I can bin that. And then I'm drawing Uro next turn. And I can, depending on what they do, I can pitch this Uro to either of these spells if I need to. Now we're going to go ahead and Uro. We'll see whether we draw a good card. It's not that big of a deal. If we don't, a land would be good. All right, we found the land. So now I'm vindicated in not putting the land in there. And then I think we just surveilled Thoughtseize. No, we need another. We need another. Oh, yeah, we can do that actually because we have blue, blue, green, green. I'll just wait and see what they do. But I think I can instep put a Thoughtseize in my hand. I'm not sure that would be good. If they have the, what's it called? They can just go for it. The Charbelcher? Barchelcher. Yeah, I think I want to get my... Oh, wait, I don't actually have 3 islands. Yeah, I'll just take a natural draw. Okay, Rockshot's a bargain, not bad. I'm just going to bring back Uro. Green, green, blue, blue, Uro. We have double interaction here. I cannot imagine us losing this game. I would be very disappointed in myself if I somehow lost this game. I'm going to leave a wasteland in my graveyard that I can recur later. We do have 3 ways of recurring it. Okay, this game is totally over. Like I'm trying to imagine a situation in which they could win. It's worth noting that force negation does not stop their creature. It just stops, the other stuff. They may be Thoughtseizing us to get more information. I will let that happen because I have double endurance. You play oops all spells. I play oops all 3 drops. All right. So we didn't see any additional creatures in the juke. They seem to be just playing the combo version. It was nice being able to get the Bayou. Normally I'd cut the Bayou. Sanctuary is pretty janky. I could see a situation where I kind of need the Sanctuary, but I think it's unlikely. I'd rather have the Wasteland to just keep them low resource. Yeah, we still have our interaction up. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to get in Sphere. Sphere is... It can potentially slow them down a little bit, but it's just slowing them down. Maybe it is correct to bring it in. What we take out? I just can't imagine the game going that far to where Sphere is good. Oh yeah, it does stop their go off turn. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make the change. If they let me, yeah, I'll do that. So this way we get this onto the table, and then they can no longer do multiple things. They're fine, they can cast their thing, but every spell costs more, so they have to have more mana to use their combo on their combo turn when they dump their library into their graveyard. I'm not sure that this is worth bringing in, but I'm just thinking they barely, and it also makes their dark rituals really terrible if they're doing multiple ritual effects. Yeah, it basically makes the bargain the ritual that costs 2 mana, that it makes it mana neutral unless they have threshold. Makes dark ritual into a desperate ritual. Yeah, I'm not really sold on this. I'm gonna try it, but I just in theory crafting in my mind the scenarios where that's actually gonna be a good card. Doesn't seem like that many of them. This is a 1 point of interaction hand. I don't think we keep this. I think we have to dig to 2, and we can dig to 2. I would keep a force with a Thoughtseize hand because I could force to get through the first turn and then Thoughtseize them. Also, the fact that this Hedge Maze is in our hand is really tilting because I would love to just be able to too much. They don't use soft permission. They mull to 6. I'm gonna mull. They're trying to get an aggressive thing going. This is great. This is a snap. We'll put back the cut. We have endurance plus force, and what we can do. I'll keep this. Cut goes back. Yeah. Endurance is so important in this matchup because it does give you yet another point of interaction. So I think we just have to hope that we can hit a pact here. This is Charbelcher. This is going to suck so bad if they're able to force this or pact it. No, they can't pact it. They have to have yeah, I think we're going to be okay here. I am going to pitch the ponder. Okay. Whew. 2 cards in their hand. All right, we drew another interaction spell. That's good. So we're just chilling. I'm going to let this happen. They may take endurance Because they can still win through force negation, unfortunately. Like if they have enough rituals. Oh, interesting. Okay, I really want to draw like green source into loam. Oh, force of vigor is okay. It is turn 0 interaction. It's just not that great. We could stop like a... oh man, I'm really worried that they're going to have another Charbelcher here. Come on, land. Days is not bad. Now we have force up. The problem with this deck is it just forces you into games that are not interesting fundamentally. It's just like, because you have to mulligan so aggressively to get it like a hand that works. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just Wither Bloom here. I've got the mana. Let's get the Trop here. I'm going to drain them and get back a land. A Wasteland would be great. Wasteland. I'm going to start wasting them just to keep their resources lean. Especially because I've got days in hand. If they Charbelcher here, I'm not afraid anymore. I'll just Endurance it. As soon as they put like a Lion's Eye Diamond or something on the stack. That's fine. Okay, they took the Force Negation. Another Endurance. Yeah, I can't do anything. I'm just going to waste them. Had I taken back the Trop instead, I could have gotten on board with Endurance and be doing damage right now. So maybe that's greedy. Beanstalk. Sign me up. Okay, Island. Sure. Next turn. We still don't have Endurance because it's double green. All right. Merc would be great here. Brainstorm. Let's go find a Merc. Okay. We found Uro. I think we could shuffle away the Force of Vigor. Let's think about this. So, we could just chill for a turn cycle. Drop the Misty. We have a Surveil. We have the Force on top if we need to mull into it. I'm going to put back one of the Endurances for sure. I guess I can put back Days and Brainstorm into it if I need to. Yeah, but I almost certainly don't want it. And I don't think I can play out the Endurance, sadly. I think I just need to keep it as a insurance policy against them doing something degenerate here. Durus again. I think we're okay with letting this happen because we do have green and we can always Brainstorm into something if we need to. They can't take the Endurance, which is like the most important card here. If they take the Force of Vigor, then it is a little awkward because then I can't... I mean, I could just go put it back right back on top. Took the Brainstorm. Cabal Ritual. Right? 6 mana in the pool. Charbelcher. Oh my goodness. Oh, so tilting. So tilting. No, I can't stop this. I can't stop this. They can just activate it. So frustrating. I don't think there was anything I could have done here. Unfortunately, they just had like all the mana they needed. Yeah, another freaking trophy run ruined by oops. Tale as old as time. Yeah, you can't interact until... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this doesn't do anything. Endurancing them doesn't do anything because it's all part of the same resolution. Whatever. I have zero intellectual curiosity about what they're playing or any jukes or anything like that. It just sucks that I didn't put back any force negations or anything like that. They were able to punch a hole through it, and then they had the fast mana. That sucks. All right, see you in the next round. Final round, we're up against an opponent who plays a wide variety of cards. They play decks. They've played Sneak and Show. They've played Blue-Black Tempo. I think this is a great hand. It's very flexible. I'm going to keep it. I'll just float this Delta out. They've played Stifle Knot in the past, but I don't know. I'd be surprised if they're on it. Yeah, this is from... the most recent record was a few months ago, so I'm just going to assume that they're on some strategy that can be disrupted. Green. All right. So this tells me it's maybe Omni. I mean, when I see a Trop, the first thing I think is, okay, blue-green Omni. I'm going to go ahead and Veil. Or, I'm sorry, not Veil. They'll probably Veil me. I'm going to Surveil. Yeah, I want to keep that. Land number 3. See if it feels reasonable. Just in case they are on tempo. Now I can Brainstorm and shuffle away the Fatal Push if it becomes clear that they're on Omnitel. I can just do that toward the end of the turn. Yeah, they're on Omnitel. I don't need to see anything more to know that. Nobody plays Lorien Revealed nowadays. Oh, they could be on Beans. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm here. And this may get a Bowmaster to come out. Okay, it didn't. So now I'm going to put back these redundant lands. I don't think these are going to matter. And I will go ahead and go to my upkeep, and then I'll fetch. So we're going to go get blue-black. Now we'll draw. There's a strong temptation to just see what they're doing over there. And then I can waste them if that matters. Yeah, let's try that. If they spell pierce, that'll be annoying. If they veil, I'll force it. I would hate to get in a force fight over this, but yeah, that's fine. So I do think the wasteland is going to be impactful if they're worried about me taking their Lorien revealed. So they are on beans for sure. Are there any of these cards that we even care about? Fatal Push is barely... I mean, it technically kills most of our creatures, but it doesn't matter. I don't care about Merc at this point. It will be an issue later. I cut them off green. Take the Ponder. I cut them off green. Then I Witherbloom next turn. They still won't have the mana to be able to do anything. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to tempo them a little bit. I think it's okay to just brainstorm now while we don't have to worry about them doing anything with the Bowmaster. I think I am going to brainstorm. And then next turn, assuming they don't waste, I can just Witherbloom. I'm not gonna brainstorm. I'm just gonna chill. I would like to get rid of this Fatal Push. Don't get me wrong, but okay, they played that out. Okay, they could have drawn a Daze. I'll take a natural draw, another force. Oh, let's see. If we wait a turn, they could potentially murk us, which we don't have a good answer for. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, just to regrow a land and drain them, and then I will force if they force. I'll force pitching my force. No, I'll force pitching my brainstorm. I think keeping them low in land is a worthwhile endeavor. Okay, we got it. I'll take this waste. Waste them. All right, and we'll pass. Hopefully we'll eventually draw an Uro. That's what we're waiting for. We've got 3 in the deck. They did find a fetch. There's our Merc. We could go in a Merc. They don't have an answer. No, wait, they have cut. I don't want to Merc into a cut. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm first. I have Fatal Push up if they get squirrely. Okay, there's our Uro, and that's what we were really looking for. I wouldn't mind just going for their graveyard here. I think we put back the Fatal Push. Put back the land. We could cast our Merc first, and then we could force their Merc. They may draw something. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got plenty to make a big Merc. I'm going to just make a big Merc. No, I shouldn't do that because, again, they have yeah, I just punted. I think that was a misplay. Yeah, because they'll just Murderous Cut it. I'm just going to chill. Next turn, I'll Endurance. I shouldn't have fetched there. They have a Swamp. Okay. So I think this turn is all about just going ahead and hitting their graveyard. They may go ahead and cut it just to make use of their graveyard. That's fine too. Brainstorming in response. They may be able to find a Daze. I definitely could have just Uro'd here instead, but I didn't have a land to play out. Uro, yeah. They have double Fatal Push. Looking at 8 cards over there. Okay, we're in. So I'll just hit their graveyard. And then, I imagine they're going to cut here. But I want to get the cut out of the way so I can Merc. Oh, they don't cut. That's interesting. I don't know why they wouldn't cut there. Maybe they're playing the super long game. We have a lot of tech that they don't have. I said we have a lot of tech that they don't have, but I could be wrong. They could have their own Endurance and their own Uro. I doubt it, though. Just like that, they're up to 4 lands. That's fine. So our Wasteland plan did not work. But if we can find the Glacierwood Seige, that would be so sweet right now. I'd love to just jam that and just waste them every turn for the rest of the game. So I have to force Beans. No matter what, basically. Okay, Witherbloom command. They're going to get a Wasteland and they're going to waste us. I think it's fine. I'll let it happen. Murderous Cut. I think that's probably the Murderous Cut from hand. I would be surprised if they still have that in hand. So what I think I'm going to do now, they return to Delta. So they're not planning squeezing us. That's good. They're trying to build up their own mana. Okay. I think the simple thing to do here is go ahead and just go for Uro with Daze Protection. I'll just keep this Fatal Push up. I might draw Thoughtseize too. That would be nice. Okay, another Endurance. That'll be good in 2 turns. I do not want to have to force their Merc. They could have a Merc this turn. It would be pretty big. If I can just get them to wait one turn, I can Endurance. They have Hardcast Force up now. They're playing extremely passively. If they Merc, I'm just going to let it happen, then I'll do my Merc. Because I do think that the Fatal Push is in exile, and my Merc will be bigger. If they force, and I force back, and they force again, I could be screwed. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess Force Will is better than Witherbloom Command. Yeah, I'll leave the Force in there. Because there might be a situation where I get the Beanstalk back. I will force fight over this. I think if they're forcing, that means they don't have removal. So now I just force the removal, and then we force fight over the removal. Now they could Murderous Cut and grow this if they needed to. But that would do more damage, of course. Oh, they could just do that trick with the guy, the Mystic Sanctuary, and make their Merc bigger. But I have an Uro, so I'm going to be gaining life. And I can make my Merc even bigger by exiling the Force with Uro. There's a Wasteland. That stops me from bringing back Uro, unfortunately. Okay, I can still Endurance them, which doesn't do a lot, but it does buy me some time. If they have Double Days in hand, that would be bad. I have no idea what's in their hand currently. I presume that Force is still in the mix somewhere. I didn't see them mill that. This is the Murderous Cut. Sadly, this does need to be forced, and then they're going to force back, and then I think we're going to lose, but I can't lose my Murktide. Yep, they force it back. Okay, so we desperately need to find one of 3 spells in our deck. We have a Murderous Cut. We have 2 Murderous Cuts. We have a Shielded Edict. A land would help us bring back Uro, and that would keep us alive for a turn cycle. Endurance can come out and keep us alive for a turn cycle. I think if we Uro, we dig deeper in our deck. I think that's better than Endurancing here. They can just potentially exile these with a Murderous Cut or something. And okay, that's not good. I think we're dead now. We have 1 draw. I mean, technically we can just Endurance several turns in a row and just keep blocking it. But okay, there we go. We can bring back Uro. That's only 7 though. We don't survive if we bring back Uro. I think we have to go ahead and Endurance and just hope that they don't have a Fatal Push. They almost certainly have. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. No, I can't do the high value play. Wait, we already played a land? Yeah, I'm going to Endurance this turn. And there's no downside of just exiling their graveyard as well. I know it grows the Murktide, but it reduces the risk of subsequent Murktides. I think most likely they just have the Fatal Push and we're just dead anyway. But what I'd like to do is next turn I could bargain and find a land plus one of those Murktide removal cards. Okay, we're in. We're going to hit their yard. Yes, I know that is beneficial. I'm just going to F6. The game's over. Basically, they're just going to Fatal Push here. Oh, they can just put Cut on the top. Yeah, I didn't think about that. All right. Oh, they're putting Force on top? Okay, that's fine. At least I can do something with Force. I can just Time Walk a couple times and stay alive. Next turn, they'll almost certainly just pitch cast Force to stop my Endurance, though. So, oh yeah, we're dead. Good game. All right, I'm not going to try to play out their clock. They're 2 minutes ahead. My new approach is if somebody's ahead of me, I don't give up any seconds of clock to try to equalize the clocks. Carpet is definitely very good here. I think that's it. Nothing else really strikes me as being particularly good. I think it is not unfathomable that they could play, what's it called? Harbinger of the Sea. I think we just cut the island. The days stays in. I'm going to cut a couple of Fatal Pushes. Fatal Push is really just good against their Bowmasters, and Witherbloom kills their Bowmasters too while also doing other stuff. It is embarrassing that we lost the Merc fight there. And I'm not sure if I can put my finger on exactly what went wrong there. So that was interesting, and then neither of us got our Beanstalks. Beanstalk is the mirror breaker, and Witherbloom being able to blow up beans. They have their own Witherbloom, which we saw. It should be an exciting final round for sure. Bean on bean action. That's what you come here for, right? The control on control. Actually, yeah, I'm going to If I still have a second, I'm going to bring this island back in, and I'm going to take out the... I genuinely think they're like practically dead in the match. They may have endurance of their own, but I'm not too worried about it. Endurance is primarily a defensive card. In fact, almost everything in my deck is a defensive card. I have Murktide as an offensive card. Even Uro is kind of a defense card. My opponent's using every second of their clock to sideboard. Hopefully they didn't disconnect or something. All right, they got it in. This is a carpet hand with endurance. I think we keep this. They do play probably Bayou and Swamp, but they're not going to be able to avoid me forever. They play... I'm going to Surveil. Yeah, I'm just going to Surveil and pass. I'm not going to play the carpet because I'll be annoyed if like they spend the first few turns avoiding. Successfully dodging. Witherbloom command. Right. I mean, I could definitely just waste here. I could go get the island. I think I'm just going to go get the island here. And just cast this while we can without having to worry about Bowmasters. Almost everybody plays Bowmasters. I've got to be the only Beanstalk player not playing any. Not even in my sideboard. And I definitely could have wasted the waste. I did that in an earlier game. But if I can take out... Oh, yeah, this is great. If I can take out one of their actual spells, it's worth it. So I want to just take the Misty, just in case the Thought sees me here. And I'm just going to try to, like, establish, mana superiority. Actually, I think I am going to just waste here. They probably have Lorien revealed. They played 2 of those last game. Yeah, I guess I could have done that before I played out the island. Yeah, they do have Lorien revealed. But my reasoning is, like, at least we don't have to worry about Beanstalk next turn. If they play a carpet of their own, then I can blow it up, which would be great. They don't. I don't want the top card. I'm just going to play that out. I'll Surveil, which does awkwardly keep me off black if I Surveil here. So I might actually have to go get the Underground Sea. Could have actually just Underground... No. I could have Bayou'd and then Witherbloomed. No, I wouldn't have the mana for it. Okay, this is good for us. This means that I think I do want to Witherbloom and waste them again. I should have done that before I drew that. By the way, that was a bad... I'm going to actually do this first with a carpet. Witherbloom may be worth holding. I mean, wasting them is very appealing, but we've already played our land drop for turn. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play an Endurance. I'll go green, and then I'll Endurance them to keep their graveyard lean. If they want to daze me, that's fine. I just want to keep this Witherbloom alive for a little bit longer. So I double green. Now I'm going to go get the... I will get the Underground Sea here. Actually, I didn't need to. I have plenty of mana. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like tired. I'm just playing badly. I don't have any excuse. I do have Murder's Cut up if I need it for some reason. It doesn't do anything. Against Beanstalk, just keeping their graveyard empty is a totally viable strategy in my mind. It's unlikely they have sweepers, so we could just keep Endurancing and hitting them repeatedly and tempo them out with those. Okay, they've opted to not get a Swamp. Yeah, I'm going to hold Witherbloom to address their own cards. I'm not going to cast this out willy-nilly just to get the Wasteland back. That's fine. They are getting back a land here that they had in their graveyard. Had I gotten Bayou here, I would be able to cast out my Endurance. It's noteworthy. Oh, we could just draw another carpet. They can't Spell Pierce this. They can't. They can force it. That's probably what they're considering, is whether it's worth forcing here. If they do force it, then I won't be able to cast Endurance this turn. Okay, we're in. I will attack. Let the bloodletting begin. The world's slowest offensive. Be excellent with his dirtily controlled decks. Go green here. Drop the Endurance. I'm excited to wipe their graveyard again. They may force this now that I'm like applying serious pressure. Because if they have a Murktide in hand, this puts the damper on that. That's great. And we're just keeping our opponent low resource. There's the Beanstalk. I can't interact with that, but I can blow it up next turn. Hopefully they don't... What can they do that triggers Beanstalk from here? I don't think they can do anything without a graveyard. Ponder. So I'm not going to be getting card advantage by baking their beans, but I am going to be getting card parity, because I will get a 2-for-1. They got a 2-for-1 in it. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a force in their hand now, unfortunately. I'd love to draw a force, but it's not going to do what we need it to do, unfortunately. I'm going to add green here. I'll add black so I can keep green up. No, I need to keep black up is what I mean. Yeah, so I'm going to add green here. Witherbloom. Cast, I'm going to mill myself, and I'm going to destroy their Beanstalk. I think there's like a 0% chance that this works. If I had one more mana, I would be able to force here. Okay, they're fetching. They may have Veil. No, black. They don't have the mana to cut. There's the force. Okay. Yeah, that happens. So unfortunately, that means they have 3 cards, so they may be able to murk us pretty quickly here. But we do have the cut if they don't have additional forces. We just have to hit them 2 more times without them slowing our offensive, which I think is probably pretty easy for them to do with Beanstalk out. Rainstorm. I feel like our deck should be very favored against their deck because of the endurance. And I think endurance is really good against them, but they are doing a good job of filling up their graveyard. We're drawing a bunch of redundant removal. Like maybe I should board out all my Fatal Pushes in this matchup. It feels pretty bad. Area Bowmaster in sight. I imagine they do have it in their deck. I can't remember if they cast it last turn or last game. So they're getting more mana. They're feeding us. Where's our Uro? Trop comes down. If they have like Pernicious Deed, that would be scary. They could blow up our carpet here if they have their own Witherbloom. There's the Merc. That's very unfortunate. I'm going to untap. I'm not going to take any risks. I'm going to add a bunch of black, and then I have force if they stop our Merc because they've played so many creatures out. Okay. Our own Merc, but I just want to get rid of theirs. So I'm going to add black here. I don't want to... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to exile 1, 2, 3. Now I still have force up. 4, 5. I have Days Protected force up. They've already drawn a card off this. If they force, then that's another card. Unfortunately, just like Beanstalk is totally the mirror breaker. Okay. Now we can go in for a hug. They may push one of these. They do have Revolt technically. I'm not going to force it. Should I force it? I don't think I should. I'll just do the damage. I could put a Merc on the table. I'm kind of terrified of them Mercing again. Let's see. It wouldn't be a big Merc. So we play this Merc. I feel like I'm just going to hold it. Like, I don't know why, but my instinct is just hold. And maybe force something they do. I don't know. Maybe that was a losing line. Maybe I should have just forced and kept pushing with endurance, because then they would have to find another removal spell to clear 1, and they'd still be under lethal pressure. Yeah, I think it was probably correct to just force there. All right, they can cut us off a color, which doesn't really matter. I'll float that. I don't think it matters. Okay. If I force, I have literally nothing going on. This Fatal Push has been so terrible the entire game. And I'm going to go for it. Because this is attacking. This is chipping away at their life total. They'll probably just force back and draw a bunch of cards and stuff. And then maybe they have another Fatal Push. Heaven knows I got Fatal Pushes over here. Another Merc. Yep. So frustrating. I've been managing their graveyard so well. We're going to lose to another freaking Merc. The good news is they don't really have a good attacks because we will deplete their life, but we finally get the Beanstalk. Okay, let's go. Let's add some green. Assuming this doesn't get forced, we do have something going on here. Uro, please. Rakshasa. I'm going to do it. Let's see if this can resolve. I have to pick one more. Oh no, if they daze this, I'm going to be so heartbroken. I'm going to be crestfallen. We do get a trigger. Thoughtseize, not a good card here. They're brainstorming. Now we're pod racing. We both have these Beanstalks out. But they have 6 cards in their hand to my 2. I have a graveyard. They don't. See, there's the damn days. Okay, well, yeah, that sucks. But I wasn't going to wait around. Like, I don't think you wait here. Maybe I should have waited. if they have another Merc, they can grow their original Merc and just kill us really quickly. I think they're probably on like 4 Mercs. That's what I used to play back when I played Bug. Maybe I should go back to it. Like, this card is just so boring. It's like the most uninteresting card. So I don't generally like to play it. Yeah, they cut us off that. Are you going to come in for a hug? Brainstorming. Of course, they have all the cantrips. We've seen 1 cantrip this entire game, I think. Yeah. If they find a second Beanstalk, the game's just wide open for them. I probably do need to use Thoughtseize just to try to mitigate like some of the effects that are in their hand. But I feel like this game is so over. They are attacking, which means that they have another Merc, which is freaking annoying as heck. Here comes the other big Merc. Sorry, I'm not like being very pleasant. It's just really irritating to me. Like, I feel like this game, I'm not sure if I blew it somehow, but like it feels like I should be winning this, but I'm not. I hope that doesn't sound like overly entitled. Yeah, of course they've got the cut, so they get like extra triggers here. So we're not gonna be able to attack. Maybe it was just like I was supposed to be patient, but like every turn, their potential, like they would have drawn a card, they would have been closer to a force. I didn't know if I wanted to play around days. Okay, we drew something that doesn't do anything. Thoughtseize is death sentence. We cannot find a freaking Uro to save our lives. Good games. Okay, sorry for the sad end to do that. I was really trying. I like Endurance, but the matchup that Endurance is supposed to shine in, Oops All Spells, it did not. So let's take a look at the list. I mean, you could just argue, like, just play Pokemon Beans. Like, why are you getting all fancy with, Glacierwood, Seige, and Endurance and stuff? And sure, like, we could just go back to regular beans. Like, where's my Bug Beans? I think I have it over here. It's not this one. I mean, I have been losing a lot to blue-black tempo with Bug Beans, but maybe I should be playing Bug Beans, just doing, dumb Murktide things. But I wanted to do something that wasn't so aggressive because the main challenge with Bug Beans is it feels like it's a defensive deck, but then it's got cards like Daze in it, and it's got cards like, let's take a look at a typical Bug Beans list. I'm not convinced Beans is even that great. It is heavily played though. I think it's control. Let's go ahead and look at it like a relatively big event. Lord of Life Gain. That's a cool name. So this number 16 in the challenge, I don't think that this is representative like what we need to look at. This one, BCDL, Buffalo Chicken Dip. So 20 lands, which is basically very similar mana base to what I'm playing here, except they have a basic swamp instead of the third wasteland. Then they're doing the 3 Mercs, 4 Bowmasters, 3 Tamio, 1 Uro. So they are getting Uro in there. The issue with Tamio is she's great in a tempo shell. I'm not convinced she's great in a control shell. Like I feel like you can just do bigger things. And so that's been a point of attention recently. Like I'll play 4 of her in my blue-black tempo. I think it's a snap 4 of, but I'm not convinced it belongs in Bug Beans. And then they're only on 3 Fatal Push, which I think is loose, but like Fatal Push was pretty weak the entire league. Basically, we never really came up with situations where it was good. It was good against Nether Goyf or Barrel Goyf. Then 2 Bargain seems to be what people have agreed on is like the right amount. 3 Thoughtseize. I love Thoughtseize. This list looks fine. I like playing 4 Beanstalk, especially if you're going to play this many Mercs. So what I'd probably do is I'd probably just go 4. Like if I were to take this list and be excellent-ize it, I'll do that real quick and I'll show you what it would look like. Okay, so here's the original list just to visually look at it. I think the mana base is fine. They're not playing any Dazes, which I think is totally fine. The main issue with this list, in my humble opinion, is you need a lot more graveyard interaction. Like this might work at like a BCDL where it's a bunch of lands players and people that play their pet deck. To some extent, it may be like somewhat serious, but like if I were going to play like a legacy challenge or like a showcase challenge or something, this Unmoored Ego card I don't think is playable in legacy, in my humble opinion. I'm going to take that out. I don't think Mystic Dispute in a blue deck is great. I think there should be a 3rd Hydroblast. I know I'm just kind of picking around the margins. I don't think Surgical or Fairy Macabre are playable. They don't really do anything against. So this is very quickly just going to converge to look like any of my other lists, right? Endurance in the sideboard is fine. Always a 1 of is fine. They do have resources to be able to get Uro out. And if you think about it, like they have the 3, like they're very close to being able to support main deck endurance here. Since Tamio, like if we treat Tamio as a tempo card, let's say we take her out. Maybe we leave 1 Tamio. Because like 1, you get a lot of the benefit that you get playing 4. Like if you look at a lot of decks by Pokemoki and James Kisao, they play a lot of 1-ofs for that reason. I don't like Lorien Revealed, personally. I think Rakshas's Bargain's better because it triggers beans. And Lorien Revealed does too, but it's a lot of mana. It's sorcery speed. I mean, I would go up to 4 of these. Shield Rosita feels fine. I would probably play 4 Fatal Push. Like I know I was trashing it earlier. I don't think you need to play 3 of these. I think 2 is fine. 4 Bowmasters. Again, it's a tempo card. It's a tempo card that's being played in a control deck. Why are you playing this tempo card? Like, I think we could move some of these to the sideboard. And then we could take this endurance, and it's just going to look like just like the list I was just playing, right? Because how my brain works. Yeah, if you do 1 Uro, you do 1 Tamio, you get so much benefit of having them in your deck without a lot of space allocated to them. You can still do the 3 Mercs. I think Merc is really good. Again, I just am biased against Merc because it's a boring card. I mean, like I would not be upset at all if Wizards banned it. I'm not sure if it's banned power level. There have been like discussions about like we should ban Murktide. Why should blue have the best threat when blue's already got the best everything else? But I do think that if they banned it, it would open up a lot of creativity in the deck building space. So I would not shed a tear for Murktide if they banned it. I mean, it's probably the most common card I've died to, even when I have answers in my deck. Like we just died to Murk twice in a row. So let's say I think, Bowmasters should be a sideboard card. I think Bowmasters is good against Bowmaster decks. I don't think it's really good anywhere else. Veil's not good in a offensive deck. I don't think Collector or Oof or Null Rod are playable right now. So you're kind of getting like you're getting to see what I'm talking about. Like, so then you get an endurance in here. I think it's fine if you are playing just 1 of Uro to play a basic swamp. It's not a bad card. And if we look, we've got how many green cards do we have now? We've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's fine to support endurance. I mean, Witherbloom was so insane the entire league long that I'm so tempted to go up to 3, but whenever I go up to 3, I always regret it. So then I'd like add back in the Force Negations that I think you should play because of Oops. And now we have 10 turn 0 interaction spells. We could just add in some Spell Bomb. It is the best anti-graveyard card right now, in my humble opinion. We still got 1 Pernicious Deed. So we're not completely dedicated to the life of just not having low value permanents because we got Tamio in now. Yeah, we could play a Lorien Revealed just as another blue source. I just don't really see a lot of merit in playing a swamp. We're not playing that many interaction spells that are black. We've got the 2 Thoughtseize, the 4, Rakshas's Bargain, of course, is black as well. I would probably just cut the swamp in favor of playing Wasteland number 3 and then maybe throw a Lorien in. Wasteland is not a tempo card. It's a defensive card in this deck. So I grab a Lorien Revealed, I drag it in there, and probably the deck would look something like this. This way we have 4 graveyard interaction spells if you include the 2 spell bombs. And you don't need to go to all 3 carpets. Like you could argue that like Carpet didn't. I mean, it was pretty good in game 2 or game 3 against the Beanstalk deck. Was that game 2 or game 3? I may not have won against them. The other card you can do is like Leovold, but Leovold. Okay, so hear me out. Leovold is a green card, so it does kind of play into your endurance plan a little bit, and it's just more generally applicable than Orcish Bowmaster. Like, Orcish Bowmaster doesn't really do anything if your opponent's not playing cantrips or if they're not playing X1s. Leovold is still like a 3/3 creature that has utility and pitches to both force and to endurance. So that's the argument I'd make. And then, since you're playing 3 Wastelands, you could play a Daze. And you could also argue that like maybe this would be a Spell Pierce list. So you put a Daze in, and then you have 1 more slot. I'd probably just play the second Tamio. We could play that card that we were playing earlier, actually. I think that'd be pretty fun. since it is a smaller list. Yeah, I'm going to play it. And then, I'll try this. I know this is like practically the same thing that I was playing earlier. It is a little bit different. It's like less dedication to endurance. Yeah. And now we have the Lorien, so we do have 21 mana sources instead of 20, but this is something we can cast late game, and there were situations where the game did get to a late game state. Yeah, I'd feel comfortable playing a league with this. Again, we just have like a lot of one-offs, which I like. So, yeah, I'll try this next league, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned from it. As always, leave comments with timestamps. If you have any feedback on my play, it's like a huge help. I hope you have a fantastic day. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.